just like that.
Hey, Larry Elder here. Thank you for listening to the Bucky Dillon Show, hosted by the Liberty Revolt and KHNC.
Good morning, Northern Colorado. Good morning, America. Good morning, patriots across this beautiful land from sea to shining sea. It's so good to be with you today, and it's such a pleasure to be on the land of this great nation, which I will brag, I am about to be an owner of some of that land on this great nation, and I'm incredibly excited about it. Guys, I would like to introduce you to my good friend and real estate expert, Jerry Axum with Sears Real Estate. Jerry, how you feeling today, man?
Good. How are you, Bucky?
I'm doing great. Introduce yourself a little bit to the audience while I check your audio levels.
Sure. Jerry Axum. I work for Sears Real Estate in Greeley. Grew up in Greeley, so I'm real familiar with Greeley and the Johnstown area and Evans and Fort Collins, and Windsor, and up north around Alton, Eaton. So been in the real estate about a little over 12 years now, and that's kind of what I do. And that's Sears is an awful good company to work with. And somewhere down the road, if you have questions or are looking to buy or sell, hopefully sometime I can visit with you and see if we can work together.
Right on, right on. So tell me a little bit about where you're from. And, you know, you've obviously been in Colorado a very long time. Just a little bit about your personal story, your personal life, and kind of who you are and what you believe.
Oh, okay. Well, obviously, I think not that everybody agrees on everything with anyone you normally in a situation, but one reason I chose to advertise on KHNC is that I figured a lot of people to listen to this station, and I've been a listener for many, many years. We share a lot of the same values, and I've been married over 40 years, and I've got some grandkids, and so I've got some very, very deep concerns about how things are going in our country. So I thought that was a good thing to kind of share with people in regards to. Well, we probably share a lot of the same beliefs, I think. And so as far as hobbies and that type of thing, I really don't have a lot of, like I'm not a golfer or something like that, but I kind of follow my grandkids around. Some of them are involved in some sporting events and that type of thing. So try to make as many events as I can, and just that's kind of what I do. We don't run around a lot or do a lot of exciting things. Just basically stay in Greeley and either, like I said, following the grandkids around or staying home and working on the house and barbecuing and that type of thing. So not too exciting, but we like it.
Right on, right on. Yeah. I really do love that we have a place here to kind of build a sense of community with people who genuinely care about our country, care about this country's values. I think one of the biggest issues facing our country is, a lot of us have lost faith in our values and replaced it with some weird postmodern, post-relativism kind of cultural Marxism that is not good for the rest of the world. And, having a place where we don't have to be, browbeaten for being proud of our country is kind of cool. And we really appreciate you being a part of that mission and making what we do possible. So you may have heard during the first hour that I was reading an article from the Denver Post about the ACLU suing a Denver area subdivision for barring social justice signs and flags. And, obviously I'm not a huge fan of the HOA. And I know that some people have some arguments for HOAs, but it feels like every new housing development has HOAs associated with it. And I personally feel like these HOAs go a little too far, right? If I want to hire the neighbor kid to mow my lawn, then I can give him an opportunity to start developing some entrepreneurial skills, some work ethic, and I can get a great deal on my lawn. And I don't see why it should be any business of anyone else. The HOA that I'm moving into, as biting my tongue as I do, tells me that my wife can't plant flowers in the grass along our driveway, and I can't plant an apple tree in the yard, and we can't put a sign for my business or any other kind of sign in our yard or do anything with the yard because they pay for the landscaping crew, which I'm sure they've worked out some insider deal with their big business landscaping crew buddies who, don't give a crap about my lawn. If my child's toys in the yard, they'll probably just run it right over with the lawnmower. What do you think about HOAs?
Well, it's one of those things that you're gonna have to live with HOAs and metro districts from here on out. Obviously, there's neighborhoods in Johnstown and Greeley and Evans that don't have HOAs. They're usually older communities and that have been around for a while, and so a lot of people do look for those areas where they might have less restrictions and be able to park an RV and that type of thing. But you mentioned a couple of things in regards to what your HOA is dictating, and they're a strong force to deal with. So I mean, the laws are written down in their covenants of what a homeowner can do and can't do, and it's like I said, it's going to be hard to if not impossible to get around those. So it's definitely something that when people buy a home, the seller or the developer, the seller or the developer, it's a responsibility to give the new home buyer all the covenants or the HOA documents. And that includes the covenants. It includes the financials of the HOA, and that's something you should be concerned about when you buy a home and it's got an HOA, is the stability and the strength of the HOA that's running it, to make sure they're financially in good shape so they don't go bankrupt. But it's something that is designed to help keep the values of the homes up. I understand where you're coming from with freedom. If I own a property, seems like I should be able to do anything I want to with it, and that's a good strong argument. But like anything, it looks like more rules and regulations. And I understand the HOAs are trying to, like I said, keep the values of the homes up and that type of thing, and they can be run very well, and they can be you can also get into HOAs that are just managed horribly and excuse me, and are too restrictive, and the people that run it are hard to deal with. So, but it's something that you're going to have to live with, and it's something that when you go to buy a home, I always tell people that when you're buying a home, if there's some specific things that you need, like if you need RV parking or if you've got 3 dogs or whatever, make sure that you check and see if that HOA allows that. In some communities, even the weight of the dog can be, they won't allow dogs over 10 pounds or something, or there's no RV parking or anything like that. So anything that's really important to you as a home buyer, make sure where you're going to move into, if it's got an HOA, that isn't going to be a problem. So but it's
Right.
something you're going to live with, Bucky. Sounds like you're in the camp that would like to not have that, but metro districts and HOAs are not going away, and they are probably any development that you see come up in the next from here on out will have both metro districts and HOAs. And a difference. Go ahead.
And I get it, right? I would like the value of my home to go up, and for that it means people need to be really interested in purchasing my home. And if the house across the street has a giant statue of Mao Zedong, then perhaps people won't be as interested in purchasing it. And if the guys on the other side haven't mowed their lawn in a month and have a couch out there where they sit and drink beer and throw tin cans at cars, I mean, I get it, right?
Have you been driving, Bucky? Have you been driving by my house?
So, hey guys, that call-in number, if you have real estate questions, this is a great opportunity to consult an expert. He's been in the business since 2005. So in the Northern Colorado area. And so if you have any questions and you would like some free advice from a real estate expert, 970-587-5171. That's always valuable to learn more, to know more. So home availability in Northern Colorado right now. What do you got to say?
Well, I pulled up some information this morning since I knew I was going to be talking to you. And what we use is called the MLS, is the multiple listing service. And that's what real estate people like myself every day look at to see what houses are currently on the market and what houses may have come up over the night that are new listings. And I thought it was kind of interesting that on the service this morning, the active listings in Johnstown, if I was coming from out of state or out of town and I wanted to live in Johnstown, that there are, you've got about 15,000 population in Johnstown. Right now, as far as active homes that are on the market to buy, there are 14 available right now, and 4 of which are yet to be built. So that means there's only 10 homes in Johnstown to consider buying. Out of those 10, 4 of those are in the 300,000 range. So if you're a buyer that is qualified and wants to buy a home at say 350, you're going to have about 4 homes there to look at in Johnstown. If you're in that 400 range, another 4 pop up, and then there's 2 in the $700,000 range. So very, very limited availability. And just to show you how widespread it is, I included, not only did I put Greeley or Johnstown, but I added Milliken, Evans, and Greeley. And if we add all 4 communities, then there's only 58 detached homes available to look at. And there's only 13 attached dwellings like condos or something like that, townhomes that are available. So that's why we have such a low inventory, and the interest rates as low as they are, tons of demand. So that's why you see these when you go to buy a home. If you get into the process, in many cases you're going to be dealing with multiple offers, and it's just a really, really strong seller's market right now. And in the near future, I don't see anything much changing, Bucky. It looks like we're going to be in that market for quite a while.
So it's a strong time to sell, but it seems like it's almost always a good time to buy. I mean, you look at the population growth in Colorado, and you look at the home values in Colorado over, gosh, just in the last 10 years even, and it feels like the price of things have gone up a quarter, right? A lot of people who bought their homes 10, 15 years ago are going to be able to sell their homes at they're refinancing now, and they're getting a lot of money out of it.
Oh yeah, no, it's Obviously, if we could guarantee the next 10 years we'd have the same growth and appreciation that's been in the past 10 years, you'd buy everything you could get your hands on. But obviously, nobody has a crystal ball, and they can't guarantee that. But hopefully, we continue to see homes increase in value. But you mentioned that, and you're right. It's a great time to sell your home if you have a tendency to do that. But why it's such a good time to buy homes is because the darn interest rates are so low. I mean, it's just ridiculously, when interest rates are in the under 4 and around 3%, that's unheard of, and so that makes it very, very attractive for new home buyers.
Right.
So it's even though it's a good seller's market, it's also good for the buyers.
Right. And a couple percent of several $100,000, I mean, that makes a difference.
Oh yeah, a huge difference, and especially when people don't realize. I mean, it used to be that if you had a mortgage for 8 or 9%, you were pretty good. So especially younger people don't realize that when they hear it creeping up to maybe 3.75% or 4%, they almost panic to think how ridiculously high it is. But it's not. It's still a very, very good investment, and so I would say if you're going to buy, you sure want to at least consider taking advantage of the interest rates the way they are right now.
Absolutely. And one thing that I kind of mentioned on my show the other day that I thought was something that people hadn't really considered is if you can get your mortgage contract signed off on and official before major inflation hits, then it actually diminishes the cost of whatever you're buying, I guess, whatever long-term purchase you're buying. So obviously we've seen tons and tons of money just being spent and spent and spent and spent and spent. 2020 and 2021 is predictably going to be even worse in regards to inflation. But if you can actually capitalize on that, because if you can get your contract signed onto, and then the money supply is drastically increased because of printing policies, then you actually are saving that amount of money in the cost of your home. And obviously, as long as human beings are continuing to reproduce and flee the major population centers for states like Colorado, Arizona, and Texas, the property values are going to continue to go up. So it would be actually a very great way to get a better deal on a house and protect your money from inflation by purchasing. So we're talking about how few homes are actually on the market right now. The supply and demand is kind of making it a little bit tougher for buyers and really great for sellers. So do you have hints on strengthening your purchase offer?
Yeah, I've got a couple, but like I said, when I sat down with somebody that we're just starting to, we're in the process of actually, looking and starting to put offers in on homes. First of all, I really try to stress how frustrating it's going to be, possibly can be, because we've got people that have put offers in, 3, 4, 5 homes and got beat out by somebody else every time. So it can become very discouraging. It can become, basically where you just want to quit. So you want to go into with the mindset that it's a tough process, and you kind of have to get mentally prepared for, like I said, some ups and downs. But there's a few things. Excuse me, Bucky. There's a few things that you can maybe help you get more competitive. Normally, when you're going to buy a home, there's 4 ways of funding that home. There's the conventional loans, basically by banks and that type of thing. FHA, which is a government loan, and VA, and then also cash. So some out there's all forms of type of competition that you're facing. So in some cases, obviously, if you're in there's 4 or 5 people bidding on the same home. If somebody's got a cash offer where they have cash on the table, they don't have to rely on lender or anything like that. That's pretty tough to beat in most cases. But the other forms of financing, you can kind of maybe help your buyers out. And when you talk to a lender, what you want to work with is really a good lender, somebody that understands this area, somebody that has access to all the programs that are available. And once they talk to you and visit with you, they'll come up with the best form of whether it be FHA or conventional or whatever that you can qualify for. And I like to work with local lenders, and we're lucky in this part of the country. We've got really good lenders, we've got really good title companies, and we've got really good real estate companies too to work with, Sears being one of them. But anyway, work with that lender, and what you're going to receive when we go to look at a house is a pre-qualification letter that has basically said the lender's visited with this buyer, and they are at this time pre-qualified to buy a home that's in this price range, whatever the price range you're looking at. And so anything that you can do in that letter to, what you're trying to do is convince that seller that, hey, this is a strong buyer. And when you enter into a contract with this buyer, he's going to be able to complete the transaction. There's not going to be any hiccups. And so that's what that seller's looking for, is somebody that really has their ducks in a row, and that lender is saying, hey, I've checked this guy's out. We looked at their pay stubs. We've got their history, blah, blah, blah. And they're very, very strong. So if we can get a real strong letter from the lender, we always suggest, have the seller call the lender and talk to him and say, what is this guy qualified, and have them visit with the prospective seller too. You may consider, if you can, putting more earnest money down in the contract. If the seller is asking for $3,000 in earnest money, if you can afford to do it, maybe you put down $6,000. That kind of shows the seller that this guy's really serious and he's willing to put his money where his mouth is. So that's one way to do it. Many times a flexible closing date helps. If you can tell the seller that, hey, if you're moving out or whatever, I can give you 3 days, 5 days or whatever to move out. That always helps. In some circumstances, in some cases it doesn't matter, but that's something that usually comes up is the move out date. And then when the inspection period, because as a buyer, you're going to have the right to go in and inspect the property, or hopefully hire a inspector to go in to make sure that key components like the furnace and roof and that type of thing don't need repair. But one of the things you can do is assure in the contract, assure the seller that, hey, we're going to go in and we're going to have it inspected, but only issues that involve like safety and health will be asked to be repaired or addressed. But as far as the cosmetic things like paint and all of that and carpet, they're not going to require that. So those are some things that kind of help get you a little maybe stronger in the fight to buy a home.
Right on, right on. Did you hear about the last remaining unit in the apartment building? It was last, but not least. Okay. So right now is a great time to sell. How should someone prepare their house before selling it, and what should they expect as far as, should they hire a home inspection? How long will it take? The selling price? Is there a reason my home's assessed value differs compared to the market value? Things like that.
Yeah. Well, to prepare your home for sale.
Let's readdress it after the commercial break. Everybody, stick around. We are going to try to be as helpful as possible, and one of the best ways to protect your money. That's what we're all about here at KHNC. You're listening to my guest, Jerry Axum at Sears Real Estate. The call-in number, 970-587-5171. Look forward to hearing you after the break.
I told you so.
We here at KHNC are looking for new conspiracy theories because all the old ones have become fact. This has been a public service announcement from KHNC.
This is Sam Shook, Navy Vet and Medicare Specialist. I just want to thank the KHNC listeners for their support and trust in me as their Medicare specialist. If you are currently on Plan F, we are in a window of opportunity that can save you a lot of money towards your monthly premium. Please contact me at 970-413-4939. If you are getting into Medicare soon or are already enrolled and have questions, please call me at 970-413-4939. Again, thanks KHNC listeners.
Hi, KHNC listeners. Jerry Axon with Sears Real Estate. Please keep me in mind when you are ready to buy or sell, or if you have real estate questions. Another option is the lease with option to buy. The lease program is set up with a year-to-year lease and guarantees a fixed rent and purchase price for 5 years. Jerry Axon, 970-576-1089, 576-1089. Jerry at SearsRealEstate.com.
Hi, this is Mike Morris, owner of Warriors Revolution Tactical in Longmont. At Warriors Revolution, we have the largest selection of tactical gear and ammo in northern Colorado. But what many people may not know is that we now sell firearms. And even despite the recent run on firearms and ammunition, we have plenty of product in the store, including ARs, AKs, Glocks, SIGs, HK, and more. And don't forget all the bulk ammunition at the best prices in town. Need to do a private firearms transfer? We can do that too. I am a veteran of the United States Marine Corps, and our team is made up of veterans and security experts, not a bunch of salesmen. Our team is trained and fought with much of the actual equipment we sell. And one thing you should know is that we support the foundations and principles this great country was founded upon. So if you need tactical gear, ammo, firearms, AR parts or upgrades, and even survival accessories, stop by and visit us on Ken Pratt Boulevard and Bowen Street in Longmont, or visit warriorsrevolution.com. That's warriorsrevolution.com.
What's up, KHNC Patriots? Bucky Dillon here. If you're looking for a simple and free way to support the station, check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/1360KHNC. It really does help us reach a broader and a younger audience, help us take our country back. Give it a like, give it a follow, give it a share, invite your friends. You can watch the live streams, you can read the blog, you can share the memes, and you can join the conversation. You can join the fight, facebook.com/1360KHNC.
Hey all, I'm Lee Turner Jr. of Tango Firearms Training, inviting you to join me on Sunday mornings at 8 o'clock for my show, Don't Be a Victim, right here on KHNC 1360, the roar of the Rockies.
The Bucky Dillon Show is a Liberty Revolt Media production. www.libertyrevoltmedia.com.
Jerry Axum at SearsRealEstate.com. That's the email. Call in 970-587-5171. Ask all of your real estate questions. So I asked you right before we went to break about what to expect when selling your home, how to prepare, should you get an inspection, how long will it take, should you be at the house when people come to check out the property, and what are the steps you can take to get the best possible price when selling your home?
Well, basically, it can range from everything from people just making the house look as pleasant and presented as good as they can, or you can, take it to the step all the way into hiring somebody to stage the property and put furniture in it to help sell it. But basically, most of the time, what happens is once a property's listed, then real estate agents are going to set up showings, and the homeowners is notified of when the showings are going to be and when they can be. There may be times when the house can't be shown if maybe for some reason from 1 to 3 there's a baby that needs to be sleeping or something like that. But all that'll be worked out in regards to when the house can be shown, and then the real estate agent will bring the folks in to look at the house. And it's better if we can to have the homeowners not at home when the prospective buyers walk through, and it's just uncomfortable for both parties. It's when the buyer gets in the house, they may make comments, which we also suggest is to kind of save your comments until we get outside of the house, before we discuss what you like, don't like, or whatever. But things can be said that can be, hurt the seller's feelings or whatever, regards to color of rooms or whatever. So it's better off that the seller's not there. The buyer also feels more freely to walk through and look at the home and without the seller being there. So the best scenario is the seller's not at the home when we show it. As far as getting the home ready, some real basic things. When the first thing the buyer is going to look at is the outside of the building or the front of the house when they drive up. So make that as attractive as you can. If there's things in the yard or bushes need to be trimmed or anything you can do to make that first impression of the buyer say, boy, this is a nice looking home, and this is a nice. Can't do much about the neighborhood because it's other people who do it, but this is where we'd like to raise our kids. Looking at the neighborhood and the house. And then once you get inside, excuse me, Bucky. Once you get inside, obviously the less cluttered it is. If you're starting to move out, maybe you can get the boxes and stack everything in the garage. But you want the house to be as open as you can, so that buyer, when they walk in, can kind of look around the living room and say, boy, our couches fit nicely over there. So let's keep as much clutter as we can down. And then just basic common sense. I mean, make sure that everything is clean. That always helps if the house is really clean. Some people like to maybe cook some bake some cookies or something like that, or popcorn to have a nice smell in there. But have it just very, very clean, organized, beds made, toilet stools, lids down, but just everything so it looks very nice, pleasant. You're going to be showing your homes, and they're going to be accompanied by a real estate agent, so we know exactly who came in the house and when they've been there. But always still don't leave out valuables and that type of thing. Loose rings and that type of thing. Puts that kind of stuff away, so just basic common sense. Like I said, make your house look as as nice as it can, because that's people are going to walk in, and that's going to be part of why the reason they offer you an offer to buy your home.
And what do you recommend as far as trying to do painting or renovating before selling your home? Do people usually get their money's worth back out of it when they do so?
Well, if it really needs painted, I mean, if you've got a room or something that really, really needs paint, obviously that's a relatively inexpensive way to update a house. And you can also, in the advertising, home bedrooms recently painted, that type of thing. The one thing is if they really don't need to be painted, but you've always wanted to paint them, the only trouble with that is the new buyer may want a different color or whatever. So I wouldn't suggest painting unless it's something that really, needs to be painted.
Okay. What is, like, how much do you charge to buy or sell a home?
Normally the obviously there's a commission from the listing company, person that lists the house, and then there's also a commission or a charge for the people that come and buy the home. So normally that runs around 6%, divided equally between the listing company and the company that brings the buyers. But that includes and that's normally paid by the seller. So the buyer, in most cases, does not have any commission in regards to that. That's usually paid by the seller. But that includes all the advertising. It includes everything. So there's no additional cost in regards to sales costs or commissions above that. And that's, like I said, normally split equally between the listing company and the buying company.
Okay. And are you offering any kind of special deals to our KHNC listeners?
Oh yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. You and I talked about that, but I thought I'd do for March. Anybody that I work with in regards to either listing their home or buying their home, offer a home warranty. If you're buying a home and it doesn't have a home warranty, I'll purchase one. So what that's going to do, if you're a buyer and you just bought a home and I buy a home warranty, for a full year, you're pretty much covered on all your appliances, air conditioner, and furnace. In case one of those would go out or quit working, this homeowner would pay for, if not all, the majority of the cost of replacing or fixing that unit. And
Right
so the home warranty is a very nice. Same way with if you're selling a property, I will put a home warranty on the property that we're selling. And what that does is it tells that buyer that is considering your home, that's one thing they don't have to worry about. If the dishwasher goes out, there's a home warranty to either pay for all or the majority of replacing or fixing it. So it's really a good product. In some states, it's become it's mandatory that you include that. Colorado, it's not, but they are in many cases it can sure be a lifesaver. And I personally have one in my own house. Had it for about 4 years now, so it's something that I offer, but it's something I have some kind of a actually working knowledge of how beneficial it can be. So it's about a little over $500 value, and that's what I want to offer the KHNC listeners. If we work together, I'll certainly be more than happy to provide a home warranty in either whether you're buying or selling.
Well, that's awesome. Does that happen to cover airplane engines falling onto your house?
I'll have to check my policy. I'm not sure if I bought that particular feature or not, but it's something maybe we should check into.
Okay, so what is the first step in the buying or selling process, and why should someone get a little more information if they're just kind of on the fence?
Well, first of all, and I think anybody you talk to, or an agent, or hopefully me, it's basically a way to educate yourself. And if you're just thinking about it, we can, visit with you and tell you the steps in regards to if you're buying. We want to get you a list of good lenders to talk to, and if you're selling, obviously, approximately what's the value of your home is worth, and just kind of start from square one. There's no obligation at that point. Just visiting and deciding and giving you options of what might be available out there in whether you're buying or selling. So it's like anything else. It doesn't hurt to at least visit with someone like myself and find out what your options are.
So we kind of touched on why right now is a great time to sell, and even why right now is kind of a great time to purchase. How do people get a hold of you? Just, to throw it out there a couple times throughout the show. Let's try to throw out your contact information
Okay.
at least 2 or 3 times before the end of this episode.
Okay. Well, and once again, I want to stress I work with Sears Real Estate in Greeley, and it's really a good little company. It's locally owned, and we've been in business since 1972. But you get a hold of me 2 ways. You call my cell phone, 970-576-1089, and or you can email me at jerry@searsrealestate.com. And you can go on our webpage and you can get a little background of myself and Sears, and like I said, it's and then we can visit and get together, and the other thing with me, and in many cases, if you're comfortable with the new technology, which I'm not the best at or whatever, that's one thing we can do a lot of things, with the computer. But if you're one of the individuals that doesn't really care for the internet and doesn't have all the means to have an access maybe to a computer or whatever, I have no problem with driving the hard copies over to have you sign and look over and that type of thing. So I work with both folks with the technology that want to work that way. But if you want to do it the old-fashioned way and basically just do everything in person and do everything with signing contracts and that type of thing in person, that's no problem whatsoever. And my email address is jerry@searsrealestate.com. jerry@searsrealestate.com. That's how you get a hold of me.
Right on. I'm here on the Sears Real Estate website, and I would like to just read from their About Me section. Sears Real Estate is the preeminent real estate company in Northern Colorado, focusing our efforts on the Greeley, Windsor, Loveland, and Fort Collins marketplaces. Those who have lived in the area for a long time now know Sears Real Estate is synonymous with the best: success, leadership, and knowledge. Those who are new to the community sometimes call us looking for chainsaws and appliances, and soon discover we are not associated with Sears and Roebuck, the department store located in the mall. Instead, we receive our name from Doug Sears. Doug founded Sears Real Estate in 1972. He was committed to being a local and independent company with ties only to the Northern Colorado community and its amazing residents. Doug Sears, who was widely respected for his accomplishments, intelligence, integrity, and vision, provided a legacy and foundation that has continued today. Our reputation is much like it was 40 plus years ago. It is among the very best name in real estate companies. Today, our structure is a bit different than it was 40 years ago. Our independent company is owned by its agents, so they have a vested interest in what happens with the company and for the clients we serve. They are full-time real estate professionals leading the way in our industry in Northern Colorado. Very few real estate companies in the nations are structured in this fashion, and we are proud to be amongst the few who see this as a benefit to the real estate brokers. And while not everyone in our company chooses to be an owner, they all have the same opportunity to buy in and be leaders of the organization. Owning a real estate office and working there provides our agents with the ability to make decisions that directly impact their business and their clients without a bunch of red tape. Maybe they want to run a full-page ad in the Greeley Tribune or Homes and Land magazine highlighting all of our open houses for the weekend. We can do that on the spot. It gives us uncommon flexibility. Agents who own the company means that the company exists to serve their needs, not the other way around. Often companies owned by large franchises or investors are structured with one goal: to provide a return on investment. We take pride in taking care of our community and our staff. We love our country. And then they have a little portion about how Sears gives back to the community. It says, giving back to our community is one of the pillars of our company. We know that when you help to create communities that support the people who live in them, towns and cities will thrive. People tell us all the time, I see Sears Real Estate everywhere. That's our goal. We want to be your community partner. Not just because we want to sell you a house, but because it's who we are at our very core. We give our time and resources because we believe it's the right thing to do. After all, making a difference for people and our community is one of our core values. So our giving looks like financial contributions to organizations such as United Way and the University of Colorado, Northern Colorado Athletics. We run in and sponsor Northern Colorado's Medical Center, the annual Turkey Trot to benefit their cardiac unit. We underwrite concerts and Friday fests on the downtown plazas. There's not much that the company and our agents don't get involved to. And for us, it's not just about writing a check. Sometimes what's more valuable to organizations is giving our time. We do that too. And then it shows all of these causes that agents and representatives of Sears Real Estate have probably been involved in anywhere from Colorado oil and gas and chili cook-offs to festival tree displays and all kinds of other things. Guys, you're listening to the Bucky Dillon Show. We're interviewing real estate expert and my friend Jerry Axon. Jerry Axon, Sears Real Estate.
Hey, KHNC listeners, Bucky Dillon here. By the way, I just want to let you know, if you're interested in buying or selling real estate, I highly recommend you contact my friend Jerry at SearsRealEstate.com. He's been doing real estate here since like 2005. And you don't just get him, you get the entire Sears Real Estate team, one of the best in the business, looking out for you on one of the most crucial purchases of your life. Don't mess it up. Contact my friend Jerry at SearsRealEstate.com.
Is the driveway made of fruit leather, or has the apple stopped appling? If your half of a 100-foot cottonwood tree just needs a haircut, call Affordable Tree Service North at 970-568-6898. We have saved many trees everyone else said was dead. Show-offs! Hey, you're not in this one either. From fire mitigation, bushes, trees to bees, that's 568-6898. God bless us!
What's up, KHNC Patriots? Bucky Dillon here. If you're looking for a simple and free way to support the station, check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/1360KHNC. It really does help us reach a broader and a younger audience, help us take our country back. Give it a like, give it a follow, give it a share, invite your friends. You can watch the live streams, you can read the blog, you can share the memes, and you can join the conversation. You can join the fight, facebook.com/1360KHNC.
Are you paying too much for your home, life, or auto insurance? It only takes 10 minutes to find out. Hi, this is Kevin Bowles with Badger Insurance Advisors. Choosing insurance plans can be difficult. That's why I make it easy. I'll make the calls, compare the plans and prices, and find you the insurance plan that fits your needs. Best of all, my help is at no cost to you. Call me today at 303-359-1799 or visit badgerinsuranceadvisors.com. Let me find the right insurance for you.
All of the music for the Bucky Dillon Morning Show was provided by my band, Beer for Bears. Find us on social media by looking for Beer for Bears.
So, you know, there's obviously a lot of real estate agents in Northern Colorado. It is a premier place to be involved in real estate just because the market is so strong here. Property values are going up. People are moving here. the place is growing, the place is expanding, and it could not expand fast enough, apparently. But I think one of the things that really sets you aside and sets Sears Real Estate aside is just what I'm checking out here, with the community and the cultural and charitable events that you guys support. And it's obvious that you're not just in it for the money. You genuinely care about the Northern Colorado community, and obviously you care about the Patriot community here in Northern Colorado. But everything from concerts to the Windsor Food Bank, to Meals on Wheels, to Pregnancy Resource Center, to the Sexual Assault Victim Advocacy Group, to the Success Foundation Breakfast group. I mean, there's just tons of things where you guys are trying to make a positive difference in our community and keep improving on that momentum that Northern Colorado has. And that's just to speak of Sears Real Estate. You yourself have really great testimonies on here from people who are talking about how much they loved having you as their real estate agent and how helpful and informative you were. So just a few of these testimonies here. Carol Davis says, open communication, professionalism, perseverance, knowledgeable, efficient, responsive, and an excellent personality. Steve says, we want to take this opportunity to say that we loved working with Jerry. He exceeded our expectations of working with an agent. He was always available for us. Working with Jerry was like working with a close family member who always kept our best interest at heart. Our family is now in our dream home, and we thank Jerry. Dave says, Jerry did everything perfectly. He went above and beyond my expectations. He is a true professional. Jerry is a very important asset to the Sears Real Estate team. He bent over backwards to make my sale an enjoyable experience. Katie and Jackie say, we chose Sears because of Jerry. Jerry's honesty and integrity is top notch. Working with Jerry was such a pleasure. He understood our requirements and connected us accordingly. And I mean, the list goes on here, but it sounds like people really appreciate spending time with you, getting to know you, and doing business with you. And hey, man, I got to say the same thing. And it sounds like these are just a few of the reasons why choosing Sears Real Estate, choosing you to be their agent, whether they're buying or selling a home. Gosh, I mean, it sounds like a really great deal. Plus, you got that offer to purchase a warranty for the first year. That's a lot of cool stuff, man. And I really, really thank you for coming on the show today. It was a pleasure, and I hope it was helpful for our listeners. You know, you can never know too much.
Well, I appreciate you having me. And if those folks out in the radio listening land, the KHNC, if they have questions or concerns or whatever, just have them give me a call at 970-576-1089 or jerry@searsrealestate.com, and I'll be more than happy to visit with them and hopefully maybe help them down the road.
Right on. Hey, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful day in beautiful Northern Colorado. It's looking great outside.
Hi, KHNC listeners. Jerry Axton with Sears Real Estate. Please keep me in mind when you are ready to buy or sell, or if you have real estate questions. Another option is the lease with option to buy. The lease program is set up with a year-to-year lease and guarantees a fixed rent and purchase price for 5 years. Jerry Axton, 970-576-1089, 576-1089. Jerry@searsrealestate.com.
Hey, it's Larry Elder. Thank you for listening to me every weekday from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on 1360 KHNC, the roar of the Rockies. Do you own a business in northern Colorado or surrounding areas? Are you looking to reach a conservative, family-based, loyal audience which could grow your business? Well, take my advice and just call 970-587-5003 or email on the air at 1360khnc.com and tell them Larry sent you.